may sound creepy, but it is true. I know exactly what you think. Don't worry about it. It's only hour or 55 minutes. Okay? And before we move on to this, I want to talk about this treatment. I'm doing research work. This research is about mindfulness and decision making. How mindfulness relate to your decision, and eventually which in turn relate to your welfare and happiness. And I'm conducting a research on that. And I may ask all of you, or some of you, participate in that questionnaire research. Of course, I'm going to pay you. It's not going to just ask you to do it. I will pay you some money to participate in that research. Okay? The reason I want to do that, when your mind is somewhere else, you're not only consuming your energy by engaging in that thought, whatever the thought is, but also you will miss the wonders of life at this moment. You will miss a lot of opportunities at this moment. I want you to start contacting that. It's not just, when you're here, you have to focus on me. That's not what I'm talking about. If you're not mindful, if you always follow your mind, in somewhere in another island, you will miss a wonderful opportunity of trust me. If you try to be mindful every moment, you're going to see a lot of doors opening to you in your life. Not just academic opportunities, or personal opportunities, career opportunities. A lot of doors will be open. Okay, so just now I was talking about price elasticity of demand. What does price elasticity demand measure? It measures how the quantity demanded respond to the change of the price. Okay? And we learned that is percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price. Okay, we learned that. And we also use the example, gasoline example. Okay. We got a number here, then we use this ratio to find the elasticity. Okay. And let me see what number we got. So what we got here is 91%. What does this mean here is, means quantity demanded, people's consumption on the gasoline decreases 1%. Then we got this percentage change in price is 5%. What this means here is gasoline price has increased by 5%. Gasoline price has increased by 5%. Quantity demanded has decreased by 1%. shows that the quantity demanded did not change as much as the price change. That's why we say, okay, people are not responsive to the change of gasoline. If this percentage change in quantity demand is greater, let's say 6%, then our conclusion will be different. Our conclusion will be people are very responsive to the change of price. All right, so then we divide these two, the ratio is 0.2. And after that, we conclude this. This represents the price elasticity. If this value here, absolute value of this elasticity is like this one, that's the one. And it means that percentage change in quantity demand is smaller than percentage change in price. When it's smaller, people are not responsive, which means you can increase the price a lot, but people are still going to buy. You can decrease the price a lot, but it will not increase the consumption that much. Okay? So in this situation, we call the demand is inelastic. So inelastic means unresponsive. Unresponsive, inelastic. Okay. What about if this figure here is greater than this, like 6% or 7%, then people are very responsive, which means that if your gasoline price increases, then I'm going to decrease my consumption. I'm going to decrease my driving a lot. So if this is greater than 1, we say this demand is elastic. Elastic means very responsive. What if this percentage change is exactly equal to this percentage change in price? We call this unitary elastic. Unitary elastic. So that's how we categorize the different elasticities. 3 categories. The first one, inelastic. Second one, elastic. The third one is unitary elastic. What I want you to do is give me some examples of the goods that have inelastic demand. Gasoline, we just show that can be very inelastic. What other goods have inelastic? Which means people are not very responsive to the change of price. Milk, bread. Okay. Why do you think those goods are inelastic?
Because nobody really stopped buying those things whenever the prices went up.
Because they're necessities. And also, they are inexpensive, right? They're inexpensive and a necessity. Like salt and pepper, toilet paper, and hand soap, right? Shampoo and shower gel. They are inexpensive, but at the same time they are necessities. So if they are daily necessities, then you cannot go without it. So they tend to have inelastic necessities. What about the other goods? What other goods also have inelastic? Be imaginative. Engage your brain. Think about what other things in addition to the goods we normally think.
Cars.
Huh?
Cars.
Cars. Cars are necessity, right? We have to talk. But there's a lot of different kind of cars. There are cars that cost $40,000. There are used cars that cost $5,000-$6,000. So which kind of cars are more likely to have inelastic demand? The cheaper ones. What do you think about the fancy cars? What about their elasticity? I have never bought a car which is more than $30,000. You think those kind of fancy car have inelastic, elastic, unitary elastic? Which one?
I think it would be more closer to unitary than inelastic.
It's going to, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be either elastic or unitary elastic. Because if, let's say, I forgot the name of that. What's that most expensive electric car? T
Tesla.
Tesla, right? Okay, Tesla cost right now is $80,000 or $90,000. Okay, that's the most expensive car, electric car. Okay, but there's some consumer who have bought it and really enjoy that car. Okay, and pretty sure that car's demand is very elastic. Okay, if that car's price drop to, let's say, $50,000, there's going to a lot of people want to buy that car. Okay, so usually the most expensive goods tend to have what? Elastic. Elastic. We have some women here. We all like some of them, like jewelry, okay, expensive jewelry. What do you think about those? Elastic again. Elastic. Okay. If the price is cheaper, then I will buy. If it's not, no, I won't buy because they're not necessity. Okay, I can go without it. How about a vacation? We all enjoy vacation. One of my dream vacation is Europe. I have not been there. Vacation. Do you think vacation is elastic demand? Has elastic or inelastic demand? Huh? Elastic, inelastic. As a necessity? If we have extra money, if we get, $400 or $800, tax refund from government, maybe we will have one vacation somewhere, right? If we don't have the money, then we don't do it. So vacation is a good that is very elastic. So when the price went up, and I heard my colleague actually found a plane ticket to Hawaii for guess how much, how much, and he paid for that. Usually the plane ticket to Hawaii costs $1,500. Is that expensive? He paid $200 for Hawaii.
How many stops?
Huh?
How many stops?
How many stops?
Because I had at least 4 or 5 stops on the same too.
And I don't think so. And I think it's that particular day there's some sale, he just, found out that one, he just grabbed it. Yeah. So it's when the price is really, really cheap and people will want to, have a nice vacation. Okay, let me ask you another good. How about medicine? Like insulin for diabetes? What do you think about that? Inelastic or elastic? Inelastic. No matter how expensive it is, you cannot live without it. You have to buy it. How about the games, the ticket for the games, like a football game or basketball game, those tickets? What do you think?
It's hard.
I don't know, because they're not that expensive, but they're not necessary either.
Yes. For some people who are fond of the game between Chapel Hill and Duke, and for them probably what?
It's a necessity.
For probably inelastic, right? No matter how much it costs, they will go to play. They're going to go to watch. Yeah. But for some people who like me, you give me a free ticket, I will go watch. Okay? And if you take, have to spend money to watch, probably I choose not to. Okay, so it really depends on the individuals. So So that's what we learned. So now you understand what is inelastic, what is elastic, and what is unitary elastic. Unitary elastic it's really hard to find, and actually it also depends on the quantity at that point. You know, because for one single good, it can change from elastic to unitary elastic and to elastic. I'm going to show you a graph. You know, for one single good, it can change like that. Okay. So next, what we're going to do is this. Okay, remember the example I brought, you know, at the beginning of this chapter. I said, okay, we have a coffee shop, which is very popular. You know, we always see a line of people getting coffee. Then the question is, should manager increase the coffee by $1 in order to increase the revenue? That's the question. And some we had different answers. Some people said yes, some people said no. And all what you said are correct, because that depends on what? It depends on this price elasticity. It depends on how student and faculty respond to the change of that coffee price, right? Okay. So let's say the Starbucks coffee has inelastic demand. Has inelastic demand for UNCP folks. Then should the manager increase the coffee price? Inelastic demand. Should or not? Yes, right? Because that means if you increase the price, quantity demand is not going to decrease much, right? It should increase. And how about if it's elastic demand? Then you should. What about unitary elastic? You may have the same amount of revenue. Okay, so you may remain the same amount of revenue when you increase the price, because the incremental amount of the price, percentage in the price, is exactly equal to the percentage in quantity demanded. Okay. Let's look at this. What is TR here? Total revenue. That's what the manager concerns about. Total revenue. And it's equal to price multiplied quantity demanded. And from the law of demand, we know when the price goes up, quantity demanded go down. So there's two factors change in opposite directions. That's why you really cannot determine what's going to happen if you increase or decrease price without knowing the elasticity. If you know the elasticity, then the story is different. If you know this is the inelastic demand, so you know this change, the change of price is going to be greater than the change of quantity demanded, right? Are you guys with me here? Are you guys with me? No? Yes or no? No? Okay. Okay, let's go back here. Total revenue. What is total revenue? The money this is the price of coffee. This is how many cup of coffee you sell. That's total revenue. Okay? You sell 10 cups of coffee, and each cup of coffee costs $4, $40. That's total revenue. Okay? The question we want to answer for the manager is, should you increase the price? Should you increase price? So, if this increases, we know this decreases, right? Quantity demand is decreased. So without further information, you cannot know what's going to happen because one goes up, the other goes down. So far, that part is clear? Do I need to repeat that? Okay. So that's why we need elasticity to help us. If it's inelastic, we know when it's inelastic, quantity demanded, percentage change in quantity demanded is smaller. So this change is smaller than this change here. This change is big. So this goes down, but this change is smaller. This goes up, this change is bigger. So the overall value will go up. That's why the manager should increase the price. Yes? Are you totally engaged, you? Really? What's this? The more you use your brain, the sharper it becomes. The less you use your brain, the lazier it becomes. It's just like any other tools. Do not think, okay, I don't have to think. When it's elastic demand, elastic people very responsive to change of price. That means quantity demanded change is going to be bigger. This will be bigger. This will small. If this is bigger, then this will drag the whole thing small. So that's how you answered the question. When it's inelastic, then you should increase the price. When it's elastic, you should not, because that's going to bring it down. I can't tell who got it and who not. I want you to ask question. The people who are not getting it, ask me question. Ask me a question. If you don't ask me a question, I'm going to ask you to do a problem. Are you ready to do a solve problem right now? Open the book.
Professor, can I take out my computer? Because I only have the online version.
Yeah, of course. Okay, I want you to turn to page 114. Page 114. You can share with your neighbors if you don't have the book. Do you have the books, or you just did not bring it?
114, right?
Huh? Do you have the book?
The e-text.
Can you pull out the e-text?
You said 114, right?
Page 114. And that question on the top left. And that will be question 4. Question 4. Do you have a book?
No, I didn't bring it to you.
You did not bring it. Who can you share the book with? You have to find somebody. At the end of class, we need to ask you to turn in this question. You have to do it.
Yes, I find it.
Page Actually it's page 113, question 4. Okay. So in that question, we have a quantity demand, we have a demand curve with a lot of points there. Okay. Part A. Calculated demand elasticity. When they say demand elasticity, that means price elasticity of demand using the midpoint formula. What is the midpoint formula? Last class, we talked about how do we calculate the denominator and the numerator. For each, there's two formulas, okay? The percentage change in quantity demanded is equal to Q2 minus Q1 divided by Q2 plus Q1 divided by 2. And this is the midpoint formula because the base value you use is the midpoint of the 2 points. To calculate percentage change in price, the similar formula, you just change Q to P. Question?
Wasn't there another one we could use?
There's another what?
Another midpoint formula we could use?
That's the only formula. That's the midpoint formula. Percentage change in price will be P2 minus P1 divided by P2 plus P1 divided by 2.
Last week you gave us another formula. It was Q2 minus Q1.
That's called initial point formula.
Oh, okay.
But this question, they ask you to use midpoint.
Okay.
I can't pull up the e-text on my phone.
You cannot put up.
Yeah. it says
So-
it's not allowed.
So make sure next time you bring the computer then. Okay? And then make sure next time you bring the book. And you two have to find somebody to share. There, you can maybe go there, share with him, and you. Can you share this book with her? And you share this book with him? Question 4. Okay, so first question asks you to find the demand elasticity for what? Between A and B. So do B, A and B first. You plug into the formulas. First, you have to decide which is the point 1, this is which one, point 2. It really doesn't matter. You can say point A is 1, point B is 2. What is, if point A is 1, what is the quantity Q1? Quantity means will be 100, right? Right?
Jesus is weird. That's Q.
Or so, we want to put the price of
P
B60.
price.
Are we supposed to do the price or the quantity demanded? Are we supposed to do the price?
Louder, I could not hear you.
Are we supposed to do the price for the midpoint formula or the quantity demanded?
Both will use midpoint. So for percentage change in the price, you use the same formula, you just change it into P.
So what's this?
Okay, so now we're calculating the elasticity from point A to point B. Through that graph, you will know the quantity for point A and quantity for point B. You also know the price for point A and the price for point B.
Yeah, he said it was 100. Well, you did 200 minus 100.
Yeah.
Divided by.
If you have questions, raise your hand. Ask me.
Oh, okay. 200. And then you divide that by 2.
Q.
And what kind of joke like 0.00%?
By the end of class, I want you to finish this question. Okay, so move forward.
What was it? 0.00.
So, we don't use the price for the midpoint formula.
We use that. We use the midpoint formula.
I know, I'm saying, you don't use the price for the midpoint.
We do.
I don't understand the formula.
What do you mean you don't understand the formula? What do you mean you don't
I
understand?
wasn't there last night, so I'm trying to figure out. 'Cause
Okay,
you
the
have
formula I
quantity.
gave there
I know, I understand that. You have Q2 minus Q1.
divided by Q2 plus Q1 divided by 2.
Yeah, so it only incorporates.
That's the percentage change. Look at the formula there. That is the percentage in QP. If what we want to calculate the denominator, which is percentage in P, then we just change Q into P. P2 minus P1 divided by P2 plus P1 divided by
So the number you get at the end of that formula is the quantity demanded, and then you switch it the price, and then that gives you the price.
That's right. That gives you
So
the
that's what the
percent.
midpoint formula is for.
Don't worry about midpoint initial point right now. This is the midpoint. Just use that.
I know, that's what I was just asking.
Yeah, this is the midpoint. If you want to calculate the price, just change Q into P.
Right.
Yeah, that's it.
Can you make sure I'm doing this right?
What is the elasticity? They ask you to find the elasticity.
I gotta see on each one. Or
This will only give you the percentage change in the quantity. You have to divide it by the percentage change in price.
Okay.
And you gotta do
Alright.
price.
So that was just the
I
quantity.
wanna be.
So now we need the price for. So that's how we have 6
Would you
months.
put like 26 and 7? 6.
That's saying that 2/3, so.
You calculate both, then you get this.
So it would be 0.67.
Price times, oh, 2 birthday price times square root.
Be careful with the minus sign, you know, be careful which one is 0.1, which one is 0.2.
So this is a. This CD. Yeah, this is CD, this is AB, we still have to calculate the price. So 0.18 times 0.66.
By now, you should be able to have the number plugged in for 180. Yes, yes, that's right.
So we would then do this for 1
Okay, let's look at it from A to B first. From A to B, we plug into the formula that Q2 minus Q1 divided by Q2 plus Q1 divided by 2. And then it's this, right? It's 200. Is everybody with me here?
My bad, what was that?
Okay, listen to me. Well, let's look at the point A to B, okay? Point A to B. Look at me. Look at the graph. Point A to B, if we want to calculate percentage in quantity demanded, it's equal to Q2 minus Q1, which is 200 minus 100 divided by 200 plus 100 divided by 2, right? Then you get a number. That is what? Is that elasticity? or it's just percentage change in quantity demanded? That is just percentage change in quantity demand. That's not the elasticity from A to B. In order to find elasticity from A to B, we have to do what? Percentage change in the price between A and B. So in addition to this, you have to find percentage change in price between A and B.
200 and 200 was
You see
first.
what I'm saying?
50 minus
Okay.
60.
Percentage in the price, the formula is right here. You plug the prices into that.
Yeah, I got that. When you
Got
decide,
it? Yeah.
when you decide what this elasticity or elasticity, how you determine it.
How do we determine it? Did I mention
Oh,
on the left hand side of the
yeah.
be with me? Okay, the mine is somewhere else.
So it's just
After you calculate this value, that value has to be negative. If it's not negative, then it's wrong. Okay? If it's negative, elasticity has price elasticity demand has to be negative. Look at that number there. It has to be negative. Then you take the absolute value of that value. Then you see which category it belongs to.
Yeah. Like in front of the bottom, it's supposed to be-
Make sense, guys?
Yeah.
How about you? Does it make sense here?
I think so.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah, this is part genetic.
Yeah, so you have this value, then put it down there. Yeah, yeah. Make sure look at the negative sign, positive sign, okay? What are you guys doing here? Understand?
So 0.28 times negative. Yeah. 0.28 times negative. No, just positive.
I just got my
So negative.
Do you get the elasticity from A to B now?
Yes. And
Yes.
HD.
Okay, what's the number?
Negative 3.66.
Okay.
Negative 3.66.
Negative point,
Negative 3.66.
negative 3.66.
Yeah.
What did you get?
I got a negative. We got a negative 1.2.
You got negative 1.2. What did you get? Everybody else? All right.
Negative 3.72.
Negative 3.72.
That's what I got.
You got negative 3.72. How about you guys?
Yeah, 0.49.
0.49. Okay, you see the different answers? That's why you need to do the calculation. Okay? I want you to check your math and do it one more time, you know? So what do I recommend you to do? I recommend you to calculate this, then calculate this, and do it step by step. Don't put everything together because that's easily messed up.
When it comes to that formula,
Uh-huh.
is the bottom part like in parentheses kind of? Alright, what I'm asking is this the same thing as the formula?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure that it's
Yes,
supposed to be
yes.
net and then divided by 2.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I did.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so first let's do the percentage change in quantity. So what do you get for the percentage change in quantity? You guys must have that number as well. 0.67?
Yeah.
0.67? Other people, you get 0.67 for the percentage change in quantity only.
0.66. Negative
Point
0.66.
That's fine. That's close enough. 0.66, 0.67. That's close enough. So you got that part. Did everybody get that part? 0.66 or 0.67 for the percentage change in quantity demanded. Okay. I guess the percentage change in price is what mess you up, right? Okay. Percentage change in price.
It's 50 minus 60.
50 minus 60 divided by 55. Right? 50 which
So
means
negative 10 divided by
55.
is negative 1.8.
negative 1.8. Yes. So
Yeah, we got
0.67 divided by negative.
So you
So
divide.
negative.
So you divide price by quantity demand.
Numerator and denominator.
I was looking at total revenue.
The first part we ask for the elasticity. So it's negative 3.72. That should be correct number.
Rounded different.
Okay? Alright, so everybody got that? So based on that number, is the demand from A to B elastic or inelastic or unitary elastic? Elastic, right? Okay, so now let's say if it's elastic demand, should we increase the price in order to receive more revenue? Okay, if it's elastic demand, should we increase the price in order to receive the revenue?
I thought it was inelastic.
Elastic. The coffee shop coffee is elastic, which means if you increase the price, the quantity demanded is going to decrease a lot, right? Should we increase the price?
I thought it was inelastic.
3.72.
It's
It's
negative.
negative. Or whatever.
What is this?
We got a negative number though.
What is this?
That's the.
Absolute value
Oh,
of the elasticity.
I see.
Take the negative sign out. Absolute value. So the answer, in part B asks you what if you increase from 50 to 60, what's going to happen to total revenue? Total revenue will what? We just answered that. Part B asks you what's going to happen to the total revenue if we move from where? From B to A.
It'll decrease.
From B to A is from B to A prices increase, right?
The price increases, but demand goes down.
So the total revenue will
Decrease.
decrease. That's right. Because it is elastic.
Right.
Okay. Or that is one approach to solve this question. The second approach to solve the question is somebody already done that. Somebody already done that. What's the second approach to solve that question? Do not use elasticity. You have done that. How did you find it? Total revenue.
The price times the demand.
You multiply these two numbers, right? For point A, it is 60 multiply what? 100. And for point B is 50 multiply 200. Then you compare, right? Second approach. So two approaches. The first approach, you just use this elasticity. Because if it's elastic, increase price will decrease revenue. And then, or the second approach, use this. Is everybody clear now how to solve this question? Okay. Can you solve from C to D? Huh? C to B, D, and E to F. Okay, we have 10 minutes. I think you have enough time to solve from C to D and answer the question about total revenue. So I want you to have a clean paper and solve C to D and turn it in at the end of class in 10 minutes. If you have time, put E and F there.
Wait, so you wanted to do C and D separate?
Yeah, I want to turn in, huh?
So I can't send.
Cause y'all use
Cause I already
That's fine, yeah.
Yeah, I did too. That's
Huh?
fine.
Okay, that's fine, just make sure I can see it clearly.
I'm fine.
Okay, yeah. Do it from C to D like we did. First find elasticity, then determine if that's elasticity and it's elastic or inelastic or unitary elastic. Then answer the question from part B about total revenue. If both not given, which happen? So it would be 1. Yeah, everything's there. Yeah.
The revenue rate. That's good.
Then answer whether total revenue will increase or not. Think about it. Think about it.
Oh.
Do not rush to answer. Use the rule when it's applied. Do not rush to answer. And you can use the second approach to really calculate total revenue at 2 points.
So that is.
Oh, 40, same week as the review.
So for point C to D and E to F, I want you to answer the question, will revenue increase or revenue decrease, or revenue remain the same? Because that's what the book asks you, right? Okay, so what happens to total revenue? What happens? So they're asking you whether total revenue will increase or decrease when the point move from D to C or C to D. Okay, that's how you're gonna answer.
So you don't know.
Yeah, I want you to write whether the revenue will increase or not increase or remain the same from C to D. from E to F. The change of the total revenue. That's what I want to see. Is it gonna increase or decrease or remain the same? What do you think? You want to use the second approach to check? Use the second approach. Use the second approach to check. Second approach is you use the total revenue formula P multiply Q for both point C and D, then compare these two. P multiply Q. What is P?
Is the price,
Yeah.
so it's 40 times.
40 multiply 300.
So yeah, that's what I did right here.
Okay, how about the other value? 30
30
multiply
times 400, that's what I got, 12,000.
Okay,
Yeah, so
okay,
it remains the same.
good.
So what do we got?
It just needs this message.
So this determines whether it's a last unit, right, so if it's less than 1 month.
You need this?
Yep. What do you name? You named it.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Can we turn this?
So this means that it doesn't matter.
It doesn't change. It remains the same. The revenue remains the same from one point C. Look at this. This number is not correct. You just this.
Yeah. Increase.
What is elasticity? Negative 1. That's right.
What? Really negative? So you're telling me when you plug it in the calculator, you don't get negative?
Total revenue. What is total revenue?
And I did it. Multiply these two together, and you get that.
P. This one 5, 6. This is 5, 6. What is P? What is P? 40.
After we set it, you go.
Got it? One C. The total revenue is 1 C. What is total revenue? 400 multiplied 30